Hello, I am Luisa Carrera, and I am the Administrative Coordinator for the Center for Student Research, which is located at number 137 in Main Hall here at the lovely Randolph College campus. And if you want to email me, I can be reached at CSR for Center for Student Research at randolphcollege.edu. I'm here to talk mainly about how to apply for RISE and the particulars about that grant opportunity you have, but I wanted to touch base on other things that the Center for Student Research does. And in addition to RISE, we coordinate the Symposium of Artists and Scholars, which takes place every April, and it's an opportunity to showcase the student talent that we have. And students apply and get in, and they are able to present they can do a presentation on research or an art display or a performance. It's not restricted to just research. It's a way to showcase all of the wonderful talent that we have here on campus. The Summer Research Program is a research-focused initiative for students to have the opportunity to work with a favorite faculty member on a mutually agreeable research topic. And that takes place 2 weeks following the end of the spring semester every year. And actually you get paid. So students get paid to do this research, and they have free campus housing as well. It is a competitive process, and look for the application process that begins in early January. And then we also highlight all of the scholarship that we can for students and faculty, both in the Center for Student Research and online. The Center for Student Research we can't do it all by ourselves, so we have a committee which is very helpful in reading RISE applications and the Symposium and Artist Scholars abstracts and the Summer Research Program applications as well. And they are sort of the governing body of the center. And they do read your essays, and they do have a lot of questions about what you're going to use RISE for. So when you apply for RISE, there are people behind the scenes actually reading everything that you submit. It's a rotating committee of both staff and faculty mixed. The Center for Student Research, it has its own director, and that is Dr. Sheldon at this time, and that role also changes personnel every once in a while. And if you want more information about the center overall, just type research into the Randolph College website or look us up on the portal. Now, RISE itself is a grant proposal writing process. If you are going to go out into the world and do some work with the community or research some things on your own, you are going to be applying for grants, or you should be anyway, because that's money. It's free money. That's what it is. So why people don't want to spend other people's money on their own efforts, I don't understand, but some people do not apply for RISE while they're here at Randolph, and I hope that you consider doing so, because you're spending our money, not yours. But you have to justify why you're asking for that money. And so it has to be for an academic purpose. It has to be for a career augmentation purpose. If you're traveling, it has to be a credit-bearing initiative. That's a good rule of thumb to keep in mind. You can also arrange with faculty to do a 1 credit, develop your own sort of course around the 1 credit with that faculty, and that would qualify you for RISE. And if you happen to graduate from Randolph and you haven't used your RISE, but you are matriculated into one of our master's programs here on campus, then you can use up to $1,000. So you lose 50% if you wait until you're a graduate student. The deadlines are very strict. Seniors need to apply by the end of their fall semester, and for the academic year 2020-21, then it is November 20th. That is the last day of this fall semester. If you want to use, that's if you want to use those funds in winter or spring. If you want to use it before then the rule of thumb applies overall, and that is everyone needs to apply to use their RISE grant at least 4 weeks prior to when they intend to start that experience or spend the money. If you're applying for a study abroad program and the deadline is October 1st, then you are applying for RISE at the same time by October 1st. And it's to your benefit, because Much of the same information study abroad programs ask or your internship program asks is going to be on your RISE grant. So you're just sort of cutting and pasting the same information in a number of areas. So why not save your time? All of the RISE applications for any effort need to be overseen by a faculty person. So you need to have your faculty advisor or a faculty mentor be the person you're communicating with about your intent to use RISE. If you do accept a RISE grant, then you are also accepting the idea that you are going to supply a reflective essay about your experience or your research following your experience or your research. And you're also going to present on your initiative at a venue sponsored by Randolph College, whether that be virtually or a poster or oral or in person. However that occurs, we would like you to give back and help everyone else understand how beneficial using your RISE grant was to you. You cannot apply for RISE if you have a 1.9 GPA or less. And if you drop down below a 2.0 after you accept the grant and before you start your initiative, that's probably not a good thing, and it's a problem. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes it's a problem. Seniors must apply by the end of their fall semester, as I mentioned, and that's November 20th this year, and first years can apply for RISE as long as you are applying and planning to use it only in your sophomore or later years here at the college. If you transfer out of Randolph, the semester immediately following your use of your grant, you will pay it back. The grant is designed to be available to people who take being at Randolph seriously, and we don't want to take that fund away from people who are still here by people who have decided that they're leaving or already knew that they were leaving in some cases. I put this in because the Career Development Center has internship application deadlines. You would be applying for RISE at the same time as these deadlines if you wanted to supplement your internship with a RISE grant. For more information about internships, I strongly suggest that you talk to the Career Development Center because they have wonderful references and referrals to places that have internships available. And if you're looking for a particular subject area, they will be able to help you. The meat of your RISE grant is right here in the middle of this slide. You have to do the online form. You have to do a word essay. Yeah, at least 500 word essay, give or take. We're not counting. If it's 499 words, that's okay. Project timeline, I'm going to show you an example of that later. A budget justification I will get into later, and then a copy of your transcript. 5 things is your grant application. And then, like I said before, it can be for your capstone. You can arrange to do an enhancing your class project with your faculty person, and if they support that and it's academically bearing, then no problem, you can apply for RISE. The other 2 things to keep in mind is if you're going to do questionnaires and interview people or survey people, or you're going to do some animal research, you need to get the IRB and or ARC approvals done and prove that before you spend your grant. Also, international students, you'll likely be taxed for receiving any money from the RISE grant, so you would meet with the business office just so that you had an understanding about how that would impact you. It does not disqualify you at all from applying for the grant. Now, justifying is the meat of your application in addition to a well-written essay, which is critical. But who, what, where, when, why, and how is pretty much what it's all about. So if you need to get some specimen slides, you need to say they're required for your experiment because, and how much they are, and where you're getting them from. Same thing if you're traveling. Are you going to be budgeting for Ubers when you're overseas? Are you going to need a flight? Are you going to take a ship? And what ship, what time, how much, and how did you arrive to that amount of money? You can't just say, oh, I think it'll be $200 for the Uber. You know, like, you have to do a little research. Is there public transportation in the area that you are going to? Do you need the subway or the tube? Then there are tickets that you can purchase, and you need to budget for those while you are staying in London or wherever. This would be on a separate piece of paper or document file where you would spell all of these budget items out. Here is a sample timeline, also spelling out, indicating when you begin, when you end, and some of the things in between. It doesn't have to be every single day and every single step, but you will have benchmarks involved with your initiative. And so we would like to see what some of those are. Like what are you planning? Where are you going to be on what day? Are you going from London to Berlin? And when does that happen? And this is also a separate document file. Now, RISE is designed to be a reimbursement process. So the intent is that you pay out of pocket and then you get reimbursed for things. Now, you can do this as you go. Get your plane ticket, apply for a reimbursement, get that money, get some other expense later on reimbursed. That's fine. I also don't want people to worry that if you cannot afford to pay out of pocket, we will work with you and not put the burden of this on you. We want you to take advantage of this $2,000 in your life opportunity. And if it's a hardship for you to get reimbursed because you don't have that money month to month, then talk to us. I don't need to know why. I just need to know you need help. And I will buy your ticket for you, or I will buy your supplies for you. I will get reimbursed from your grant, or the business office will get reimbursed from your grant. However, we need to arrange things. We just need to know you need help. And you move forward when you get help, so please ask. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time overall on this. I have a separate video on reimbursements because it tends to be a little sticky here and there and confusing, but very manageable. And just know that you are not ever reimbursed for fuel. It's 50 cents per mile. You prove your mileage by supplying a Google map with your mileage on it, or the number of maps that you need to show your total mileage. Don't buy food for other people. Don't buy alcohol. Those are not covered. Personal items like sunscreen, that's not covered by RISE grants or any grant. If you find a grant that actually gives you reimbursement for alcohol, well, that's a very special grant, but I don't think it really exists too often. Your reimbursements would be processed within 2 weeks. So keep that in mind too. If you're reimbursing as you go, then you get your money back faster. Or you can just wait till the end. If it's no big deal to you, wait till the end and just throw in all of your receipts all at once with the reimbursement form. And be sure to watch the reimbursement video if you get to that stage where you need that assistance. So the RISE application deadline is 4 weeks before you need to spend any money. If you're a senior, it's the 20th of November this year. And it's never too early to apply, so you don't have to wait to apply for the grant if you know what you want to use it for. And then it's also concurrent to every other application that you are applying for. So study abroad, internships, whatever dates those deadlines are is the same for your RISE. And then it takes about 4 weeks to learn if you have received RISE. I work with you. I screen your RISE application first, and then I send it off to the Student Scholarship Committee for review. So I let you know of anything that might be missing ahead of time. It doesn't penalize you at all. And then the Student Scholarship Committee, even at that point, gives you every other opportunity to explain if something isn't clear, and then they will approve accordingly to what your responses are. The application, just type RISE at the portal or at the Randolph College website, or go to that link. And again, I am here. This is why I am here. I work with this all of the time. So if you have any questions, please email me at csr@randolphcollege.edu. And I hope that you have a wonderful opportunity that you can use up to $2,000 for, that you will be applying for RISE very soon. Thank you.